Hello everyone. Today another little demonstration of the live set that I'm working on, and what I'm going to do in this video is take you through the process of turning a track from Ableton that is going to be released next month into a live track, and for this one I'm going to use the Digitakt Digitone. Not the other machines. I can do it all with these two boxes. So if you look at the project here, this track is called Lost Marbles. Like I said, it's going to be released at the end of next month. I'll just play you a little bit quickly to give an idea of what this is about. So this actually is mostly based on a part that I made with the DAW. That's the main synth, and then it went through a bunch of iterations and ended up where it is right now. It's been mastered and submitted to my distributor, and it's going to be released on the... Well, actually, I said next month. It's later this month. It's going to be the 27th of July, I think. So how do we go from this to a live track? And I'll play this and you can compare. Right, so to make this manageable, I have this Google Sheet where I keep track of everything I put into the live set. So this one, Lost Marbles, the pattern, they're mirrored on the Digitakt and Digitone. They're both the same. Right now it's saying A03. There's a variation called A04. I had them switching patterns together with... When the Digitone switches, then Digitakt switches pattern, then the Digitone would follow. But I disabled that because I need to be able to have a beat going here, and when I want to mix in the next track, have a different track going on here. So there's actually two patterns for this one because there's a variation in the main synth part. So if I just turn off the Digitone volume here. Mute a few tracks here. The next pattern, A04. That's a variation in the synth. Okay, so because this was made on the DFM, that main synth thing, I just exported samples, a bunch of them, actually 9 different samples from this project, and named them and uploaded them to the Digitakt via USB. And so I keep track on which audio track in the Digitakt is what sound. And for this track it's this one. So the kick and the sub always on 1 and 2. Then for 3 I have the synth. Noisy rhythm, 4 is percussion, and 5 percussion, and the last 3 are hats and cymbals. So we just solo just the kick, and that's a sample from... I have to go to the right track, of course. Yeah, sample from exported from Ableton, as is this, the sub, and then the main synth in this pattern and in the next one. So what I did here It's a little bit of work, but basically what I did is, I'll go out of mute mode. You can see here, I basically sliced this sample, meaning that if I play the set faster or slower, this will follow. So the original track is 135 BPM, sort of the base tempo of this whole project is also 135. But if I slow it down or speed it up, I'll add the kick for reference. Let's see. It starts breaking up a little bit because the slices are shorter, of course, than the length. But as you can hear, if we want to go crazy, 150. Sort of works. It's a little bit of work, the sort of manual slicing, but yeah. Okay, so moving on. This one, I think I did the same thing here. Yeah, I need to slices half a bar, copy those over to the second half of the bar. Okay. This one. This is just a single sample, repeatedly. Another little hi-hat, an open hat, and a crash. Fast pattern for the crash, with different parameter locks for the, I have to go to the crash track 8, different parameter locks for the volume, so it doesn't sound all identical. And that's basically it for the Digitakt. Moving on to Digitone, I'm just going to mute the sound of the Digitakt. So I have 4 things going on here. You can hear, I'll just mute. So this is basically an addition to the main riff. And I recreated this because, of course, I've used all the sampling or the sample playing capabilities here. I made this in with the synth engine. Harmonics went to sort of a square wave. It's mixed in with this X. Let's go to the right track, this one. I was lying, it wasn't square wave, that's for the second sound. This is more like a sawtooth. I think some detune. Some FM to give it sort of a zappy sound. It's a lot of fun playing around with this and trying to recreate the sound, because it's basically a sound from the DFAM. Very much analog FM kind of sound, and this is digital FM, so it's different, but I use some filtering as well. Really happy with the bass width filter as an addition to the normal filter. I wish the Digitakt had that too. Anyway, so that's that sound. Next one. Yeah, here I went for a square wave mixed in with I'm doing it again. Also sort of, this is FM Y, that's B1 modulating B2 or the other way around. And this is more, it actually sounds a bit more like a saw. That's the background noise. One thing you cannot do with this is you have a nice reverb, but you can't put it directly on the track. So it's always going to be a mix of the original sound and the reverb send. Sometimes you want to just have all wet reverb. Can't do it on here. That's a limitation. But hey, it's an approximation of what the thing in the original sounds like. Let's see this one. Now this is going to be used in the breakdown, and what I'm going to do here is open this So that's something I'm going to play by hand. I tried putting an LFO on here, but it's difficult to get the timing right, and it's something I'm going to do in the breakdown. So basically, turn off these, for instance. Play with this. And then finally, sort of a shaker-like sound with a little bit of attack. Maybe I should make it some more. Although sometimes that can mess up the timing in relation to the other stuff, so let's try that. Let's do these. Actually, one of the things here is you don't have a white noise generator on Digitone, so sort of had to emulate that with a lot of FM and feedback. Feedback sounds noisy, but the cool thing is that it also has this metallic ring, so it's a nice percussion thing with some noisy aspect to it and some metallicness to it. And yeah, that's basically all together would be this. Just stop this completely. Turn these on, off. Still getting used to the way of muting here. I think this is easier. I also notice I keep adjusting the levels of the tracks. And I save them and then I open it up next time and it sounds all wrong. Kind of difficult, but getting used to it. Trying to get the hang of this, and so yeah, there's now 4 tracks in this live set, 5 patterns, and yeah, I'm gonna do one more. So I have 5 tracks, and then I'm just gonna start practicing, especially transitions. And the final thing I wanted to say about this is, so with pattern switching, these can now be independent. So I can start the next track on this machine. The only problem is with the AS1 next to it here is being sequenced by the Digitone, so those have to be on the same pattern. And I'm right now considering getting an analog 4 instead of the AS1 for that reason, because it has a similar sequencer to the Electrons. The AS1 also has a sequencer, but it is far inferior to the Elektron ones. I don't really like using it. It would be an advantage if I sequenced it from itself, then I could start a new track on this one. But there's also some problems with switching between sequences, where it's not really seamless, or it doesn't wait until the end of the bar, or it gets like a little click or something. So yeah, that would be a reason to actually go for an analog 4. The other reasons being that you can do more sound design wise, and of course it has 3 more voices. For instance, in the video I did last week, where I really wanted that trancey super soul sound, the analog 4, I could use 8 oscillators in that synth and detune them, not counting the subs. And here there's only 2. Plus it has reverb and chorus and delay at the same time, and this doesn't have reverb, the AS1. So yeah, considering going all Elektron. Oh yeah, and the last reason to want the analog 4 would be that it can sequence CV. It can output CV, has its own track, and that would allow me to integrate the DFAM into my setup. And if you've watched some earlier videos of mine where I'm recording the DFAM and struggling with time stretching and stuff, to the annoyance of some people, then yeah, it would be great to have a piece of gear that is able to at least tempo sync the DFAM. There's a CV and gate output on the TB03 here, the Roland bassline. I haven't gotten that to work with the DFAM. I'm hopeful that the analog 4 would work with the DFAM. So anyway, that's a little overview of what I've been up to. Hope that was useful, enjoyable, or both. If you did find it a good video, please press like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to try and stick to doing at least one a week while I'm busy with other things. But yeah, next weekend I'll have another one for you. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you then. Bye bye.